Sorry. Had to fix the audio on that one, so. Alright, here you go. Japan apparently is crashing out, so here, take a look at this.
What the The pig! There's a pig! An anti-building mosque rally. You see the pig over there? Goddamn! Go! Please, you're getting more aggressive. Oh my god! No, there's no space! What is that? Huh? So he's the one doing the anti-mosque rallies.
Anti-mosque
There's
rally?
more people coming. I've never seen this much of like police right there. Listen to this, guys. These guys are calling us like racists go home. Yo, what the f? Look at the amount of people. These are all policies. What the heck? Actually, I've never seen such big communist people protesting against conservatives. I'm going there. You can see these like Japanese nationalist patriot waving big Japanese flag. At the same time, the other side, LGBTQ flag. So like,
oh my god, is Japan becoming America?
communist side and Japanese side. They telling me to go back, and then they're saying that racism is not good. But they're telling me that I'm have to go back.
Damn,
oh my
that's
fucking
crazy.
So the audio was off, but I was just trying to get close to the politicians to do the speech.
Battle of communist, liberal retard versus nationalist. See over there, I've never seen something like this before. You see, he's fighting against. What the f? The pig! There's a pig! An anti-building mosque rally. You see the pig over there? Goddamn! See that? We're starting the rally, guys. Guys, this communist are making fun of Joker. He's not being famous among females. But you see these females? These are supporters. They're all females. These are all police. It's crazy. Are we doing rugby or something? They're going down. Look at that. Look at that. You see these
wow,
people?
This is kind of
got,
crazy
like, some
what's
scarf
happening
around
here.
their neck. Pro-Palestine people, right? Oh my god! No, the small space! In the small space! Yo, what the? Stop!
What the hell, dude? Holy cow, dude. What is happening, dude? Well, I know what's happening or so, but like, Jesus Christ, though.
Get attacked! And now this guy's trying to stop the rally by sleeping. Neymar. So, whoa. Again. Mata yattaru. I feel like I'm a prime minister. See that? They're protecting me. See the wolf police right there? Go. Please, you're getting more aggressive. Oh! I'm in this horde of men and going attacking the little people. It's like a medieval war.
Oh my god. Because I think, if I remember the context or so, right? They were going like, there was something or so in this I think it's in this specific prefecture where they're gonna build like a big grave or so or something like that, or like a building or so for that specific religion or so. I forgot which one it was or so. And the Japanese people are like, they don't like it or so. It's like bigger than like their normal grave or something like that. So in Japan, people are just fighting against it and be like, no, that shouldn't be a thing. No, you know? So I don't know. I have no idea what they're building or what they're proposing to build, you know?
This movement, this rally is worth doing. One thing I
Do we
can
need
say
graves?
is
Our
that
deads are
all these
cremated?
communist parties, they have
Is that what that is in Japan? Is that what they do over there? Or is it like, you know, I have no idea.
eyes. Like, they're like,
How are you?
good.
It's nice to see you here.
Where you from, bro?
I'm Italian, but I grew up in Australia.
Australia. Okay, that's why you have an accent.
We have markers.
You're from
but that's
Australia,
it.
Italy, right?
Yeah.
Are you receiving any racism in Japan?
No.
Zero. They say no racism.
Treat people decently, with respect, behave decently, and people they will treat you super well in this country.
Why are they calling you stop racism when you're Italian?
Well, they say with me I'm racist.
Yeah, with the Japanese. Why?
That's so funny. It's like, they're calling me racist, but I have a Japanese wife. Oh man, dude, I feel like the ideology of that is throwing out the window, to be honest. Even Japan or so even has some very stupid people over there, which makes sense, you know. I'm not surprised, you know.
I come from a mixed family.
I don't know why they're saying. Yeah,
Well, they call themselves communists. They are the Nazis. They don't want you to have your own idea. They don't want you to speak.
Yeah.
That is a Nazi idea. They
That's
are not
not true.
communists. They are Nazis.
because they don't want our opinion.
Yeah.
There's so many people like British people, Americans coming to like anti-immigrant rallies. They're saying it's racist. Like, come on, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Completely correct.
I hope you have a great life here.
Thank you very much.
We are families, guys. We're family.
Thank you. Always.
Always family.
Let's
We're
fight
family.
together.
Let's fight together. Let's go.
Free Japan and free West.
Yeah, free West. Yes, let's go. You see that? We're friendlies. We are one team, guys. We are one team. Fight.
For Japan, it is better to cremate because
Okay, finally,
if not,
the
they would have a
anti-moth
plague
what they have finished.
otherwise from the
And
dead.
the politician, is about to leave, and
Hi guys, so there is a reason why we are doing this anti-mask, anti-Islamic invasion protest, you know, and okay, right now, dangerous ideology coming into Japan. It's called Hizbut Tahrir Indonesia. This is like Islamist extreme group. In 2017,
What? Excuse me?
this group is banned and made it illegal from Indonesian government themselves. And also, Russian Supreme Court designated Hizbut Tahrir as terrorist organization together with Al-Qaeda. So all the activities are completely banned on Russian territory. So, you know, common sense. These people want to overthrow the government because they want to put this caliphate state, Islamic state. So this has to be serious crime. But somehow Japanese government is so weak. They don't want to do anything because I guess this is a religious thing. By the way, like this guy is doing this.
Ya Rob, jadikan setiap yang berwakaf di tempat ini.
This Indonesian extreme group has to be like arrested or have to be deported because they are terrorists. Literally, they're terrorist organization. And also January 20.
I'm like, if they're terrorist organization, just fucking round them all up and send them back. As simple as that. How hard is that, you know? I'm like, just send them back. It's easy.
25, this Ebina Mosque, Kanagawa, have invited Islamic leader called Mufti Tariq Masood. I don't know how to say that. But anyway, this scholar or encouraging people, girls underage get married. Literally like this guy saying, on the video, forced his own 13 years old niece into marriage and encouraging people to do that. How is it?
That's
how
weird.
Is he doing that?
That's just
and
weird.
coming into Japan and doing some like answering question thing at the mosque. So that's the reason why we are really against these things, right? And also because, you know, according to Arab guy, if you are a real Muslim, that you're not supposed to live in a non-Muslim country. Quran 4 verse 97, was not the earth of Allah spacious enough for you to immigrate therein? So basically it means that you are in a place such as non-Islamic country where you cannot properly practice or protect your Islamic faith, and you are able to migrate to a place where you can freely practice your religion, but you stay there anyways. That is wrong. According to this Arab guy, Muslims are not allowed to live in non-Muslim country. And also there's another hadith say Sunnah Abi Dawud 2645, narrated by Prophet Muhammad. I am not responsible for any Muslim who stays among polytheists, non-Muslims. When asked why, he said, their fire should not be visible to one another. That means light of Muslim home and non-Muslim home should not be seen together. In other words, Muslims
I
should
think we
not
already
live
have like
deeply
20 or
integrated,
so
mixed
mosques in
within
Japan.
non-Muslim societies.
What's a mosque anyways? I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. Can you enlighten me on that, Romina?
I don't know, you tell me. This is not my personal opinion. According to Arab guy, according to the Islamic
It's a
teaching,
Muslim
I've seen the
church.
video and I'm talking about this in Saudi Arabia, right? So my question is, right, why are you doing this?
Sorry, 200.
So, and then this Arab guy says that these Muslims that...
You know, the funny thing about it is, though, look, one of the reasons why I would rather move to Japan or so is because, because of, the Asian culture and Japan being Japan. I don't want to move to Japan where, you have like, it turns into like a Muslim place, I'm like, I kind of don't want that personally. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'd just rather go live in Japan, where Japan is, hey potato, hey everybody, how you guys doing? That's kind of like, and that's kind of like my thing or so. I have no offense towards, that religious or anything like that, but like the reason why I go to Japan is because of Japan, Japan has 8 to 9K churches though. Oh, I see. For me specifically, I'm not much of a I'm not a religious person, so that kind of like really doesn't really affect me personally. So it's just kind of like, it is what it is. I was Expedition 33. That's something you will probably change your opinion on soon. No, I'm not a religious person. I don't give a fuck about religions, okay? Religion is a joke for me, so if that religion does take over, you as a woman wouldn't be able to wander around Japan without a male chaperone. That's the one thing I am worried about or so, because it's kind of like, I'm like, plus also like, I don't want anything bad to happen to me or so while I'm walking around at night or anything like that. If I'm going out to eat something or want to take a walk or so at nighttime, which is good because Shinto is not a restrictive religion. Oh, okay, I see. Makes sense. If you know anything about Islam, let's just say that's the one religion you want to stay the fuck away from. Yeah, I know some stuff about it, but not like a whole. I didn't really do my own depth or so in it, but it's not really my type of thing. I'm not really a huge fan of that specific religion, of how they kind of do things, especially towards women or so. Not a huge fan personally, so. You're not required to follow any of it. However, many of our customs and traditions spring from it. I see. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm a Muslim. It's fine. I don't hate you, okay? It's just the problem is I'm just not a fan of certain things from that specific ideology. I don't hate everything, right? There's just certain aspects I just don't like. It's the same thing with Japan. There's also some things I dislike about Japan as well. Like, I don't agree 100% about Japan. Same thing with Hispanic culture. There's some things I don't agree with Hispanic either. So that's just kind of like it. There's some things that I like, but there's some things I disagree on. So that's just kind of like how I am in general, specifically. So at the end of the day, it's like it's not like everybody's bad from that specific religion or anything like that. It's just kind of like I'm just not a huge fan of it, like I can still respect it or so, but I'm just not a huge fan of like certain aspects of it at the end of the day. So I feel like very culture and religion has good stuff and bad stuff. It is, but I still personally, this is my personal opinion of what I think about religion. I still feel like religion, like just all like personally religion, like everybody, like all the religious stuff that you believe in and everything, I personally think it's just make-believe. The only reason why is because like, these great fantastical magical things happened centuries, millennia ago, and the only thing we have are like books that people wrote about it. And it just kind of feels like, like none of us were there, none of us were really there to witness it, to see if it was actually true or anything like that. So that's kind of like, that's just kind of like how I personally see things. It just kind of feels like it's like you're just telling a fairy tale. You know, you're just kind of like, you know, you're just kind of like telling a fairy tale. And the reason why too as well is because there's been so many wars in the past or so about like religious stuff, and I'm just kind of like, you know, it's like you guys can't seem to like settle like normally or so to agree to disagree on certain things, but no, you guys have wars and everything. And you know, I don't know, it's just kind of like something like that in my personal opinion. I'm just not a fan of any beliefs that forces itself among the population. If you don't confirm, you will be executed. Exactly, you know, if you don't follow a certain religion or you don't agree with something, you know, it's not, you know, you can't just like, you know, basically what you said, execute them and whatnot. So it's just kind of weird. So Christianity doesn't attempt to take over the way the Islam does. I'm like all religion has dark sides at the end of the day. Not all of them are like, you know, are like freaking, you know, all peaceful 100%, you know, innocent. You know, at least some of them, at least all of them has a specific dark side to them, at least to some degree, you know. So it's just kind of like, you know, I don't know, for me specifically, the thing is like it's just that the thing is like what's the best way, I guess, like I'm in a bit of in a hole, right? I'm in a rut, right? I'm in this hole, and you know that I have to dig myself out and everything, right? Not I'm not going to believe in a religion that is going to help me get out of this hole. That's not how it works. That's not how the world works. You know, it's like only I can dig myself out, okay? No magical being or so, you know, God or insert whatever religious god that you believe in is going to help you out and pull you out from the hole, okay? It's you and yourself only, and your wits and how smart you are to get yourself out of the situation that you're in, basically. So that's what I believe personally, is like, you know, no one's gonna really help you but yourself at the end of the day, you know? Like if you're stuck in a hole or so, God isn't gonna come down, or Jesus isn't gonna come down, or Santa Maria is gonna come down or so, or fucking, you know, insert whatever here is gonna come down from God who knows where, reach out their hand to you and pull you out of the hole. It doesn't work that way, okay? It's just, that's just not how it works, okay? Like I get it, it's supposed to give hope. It's supposed to give like, you know, I understand specifically. It's supposed to give you hope and like some kind of like, I guess, but it's just kind of like you have to have the mental fortitude of like, you know, I'm stuck in this hole. No one's gonna come and help me but myself. You know, it's just like that's just kind of like how I personally think. You know, it's like if I fuck up on something, that's me. Okay, that's nobody else's fault but myself. Okay, so I got me in this situation. I have to get myself out of this situation. You know, me praying to a religious being or so is not going to get me out of the problem that I'm in. That's why I personally don't really like I can still respect all religions at the end of the day, right? But for me specifically, you know, don't quote that in chat or Co might be in trouble. Oh yeah, you might want to be careful or so. You don't get me banned or so, all right? And that's just kind of like, that's kind of like basically it though. But I guess do it like if you're you know, if you're part of religion or something like that, right? I'll respect that at the end of the day, as long as you don't force me to believe in your ideology. That's it. You know, that's all it is to it, to be frankly honest. But look at the look at that and tell me if it's a sin. It's a commandant. So yeah, that's kind of like, you know, that's kind of like basically it though. That's personally for like, let's say for example, like my partner is religious, you know, and I'm just kind of like, you know, as long as my partner respects me, the way how I am specifically, and not trying to force me to convert to their religion or so, right? Then we'll be happy dory, you know. If she wants to go to Sunday church, she can go to Sunday church, but I'm like, don't drag me into it, because I'm gonna be bored and I do not want to be part of it. So I'll probably be watching anime or something, you know, while you're doing all of that, to be frankly honest. So that's kind of like it, you know. Like I said, be cool with me, I'll be cool with you. Respect me and I'll respect you, you know, of what you believe in, okay? What I truly believe in personally, right? This is what I think, right? I think these are a lot more cooler personally, are the, I guess you could say, like the pantheon gods or so, you know, as in like, you know, Zeus, fucking Hades, fucking the Norse mythology, the fucking Egyptian mythology, the Mayan mythology, you know, those things, I think I find those more interesting. I don't really like believe in them, but I think they're so cool or so because of the fantasy-esque of it, of like, you know, like, oh yeah, fucking Hercules fucking fought fucking a three-headed dog or something, you know, or like had to do like the thing or so to convert himself into a god or something, you know, the tall tales or so for it. That's what I think personally. I think those are so cool, those are more interesting, there's a lot more cooler, those pique my interest or so. Or some of like how some of the Egyptian pantheons, like Anubis, you know, becoming the god of the underworld and everything, and Ra being the god of sun, and then you have Kukulkan or so from basically from the Mayan pantheon, and then you have fucking what's his name or so, I forgot his name already. She got Shibalanke too as well. So, and that's basically it. You know, that's the thing that I believe in when it comes to, like, I guess you could say quote unquote religion or so, but it's not really a religion. It's more like story of the pantheon of their specific, of like, you know, their specific. Even like when it comes to what was a Rama. Rama was actually pretty cool to learn about. Rama is like the whole what Hindu. I think it's the Hindu pantheon or so. Some of the Japanese pantheon, the Chinese pantheon with Nuwa, Amaterasu, and all this other stuff. It's just cool to kind of like learn all of that stuff in general. But that's kind of like basically it. That's all I basically like know of. But when it comes to like normal religion in general, I don't know, man. I just don't kind of really like. I just kind of like I just like It's like it's okay, but I'm just kind of like you know.
Migrate to another non-Muslim country, they're literally like moving to have a materialistic thing. Because their country is shithole, they want material things, so they have to migrate. When it's forbidden. You're not supposed to. Yes, that's he says that this is against the Islamic teaching. So you are materialistic, I guess. So that's something I want
What the
to
hell?
ask them too. Why are you doing this? Right? If you love your Islamic country, I don't know, Bangladesh, Pakistanis, Indonesians, great.
I learned it. I learned from movies. I learned from certain books. I learned it from Smite. I learned it from God of War as well. What other ones? I'm trying to think of them. Oh, fuck. I guess is Asuras Wrath considered as like doing the whole, because it's like it considers as like doing some of the Hinduism, right? Some of the Hinduism religion stuff, right? If I remember correctly. Hey Troy. That's pretty much a bit about it. So yeah, like that's kind of like basically I know off the top of my head. I think I know a few more, but that's kind of like basically it.
Live in your countries, but they would rather come into Japan. Come on. So there's one thing is that they're not supposed to live in a non-Muslim country, and also your extreme ideology should not be in Japan.
Yeah.
It has to be illegal, has to be arrested. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Like, please support, right? Huge L for the Japanese Prime Minister because she's not doing her job. Say nothing against these kind of like obvious problem. I just want to tell you guys that.
Yeah, it is a problem. Not gonna lie, to be frankly honest. I'm like, if you know, just you know, I'm Pakistani, but I support this. Keep Japan. You not pedo, but they brought in pedos in Iman for lecture. Yeah, that's the problem. They're basically like, I don't know what's going on or so. I don't know why they're bringing in the wrong type of people towards these countries specifically, when like people who actually want to be in this in these specific countries, right? You have actual people who do want to be in these countries, that do respect the culture, that do want to learn, you know, Japanese and all this other shit, you know. They want to come over here, but they don't, because they bring in these other people that are more radicalized, and it's just kind of like, you know, it's like somebody makes sense, you know. Why not bring the people who actually want to go over there, who actually respect the culture, who actually want to learn the language, who wants to know the culture and the food and whatever, the habitat or whatever you want to, you know, the environment, right? I just don't understand why you can't bring these kinds of people who do want to go over there, you know. I can tell you why, for work primarily. Well, of course I know it's a rhetorical question, right? But like, but it's just still kind of like you can still kind of like strike up some kind of deal to some degree, you know, maybe some scholarship or something or whatever, you know. I'm just saying. Then there's our culture. We are seen as polite, friendly, clean, safe, and accommodating. They see that as weakness. I don't see that as weakness personally. As someone who is like mostly raised Hispanically, right? Like, yeah, I have some genes of Asian inside of me, but I was mostly raised Hispanically overall. So as us Hispanics specifically, we welcome that. We like that, to be honest. We would probably be friends with you guys specifically because that's how we are, you know. We are also friendly and we're also polite and everything like that, you know. You know, we try, you know, we survive in like pretty like harsh like conditions in general, right? Especially when some houses are made out of metal sheet and everything, or made out of like, you know, cement blocks or like whatever, or the floor has no like foundation, it's just kind of like full of dirt and everything, you know. Or we sleep in either in hammocks or we sleep in like the most thinnest mattresses, you know. It's kind of like, you know, we're just kind of like we're pretty humbled, you know. We understand, like, you know, the thing that the struggles and everything like that. So when it comes to somebody who's like also nice and who's also, you know, towards us specifically, like we do the same thing back in return, you know, because our mom taught us that way, you know. All of our Hispanic moms taught us to be like, hey man, you know, you better treat other people with respect or else I'm gonna beat you up the head, you know. So that's kind of like basically it. But I'm hoping, you know, I know this is what's been happening in Japan. I've heard of it like somewhat of recently or so, and hopefully, like, you know, hopefully it gets all, you know, all a-okay and stuff. I think I'll put it under just create a new one. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't personally find it weak or so. I kind of find it like welcoming. That's how I see it, to be honest. It just kind of feels nice, you know. It's just something different, you know. By the way, I wrote a character who's half Latina and half Japanese. I don't know if you care, but I think it's a funny coincidence. It is a pretty funny coincidence indeed. The religion is fundamentally incompatible with Japanese values. Yeah, it makes sense. The religion for there specifically, and when it comes to Japanese, it's not the same, and there's going to be so much. There's gonna be so much butting heads with one another. That's the only reason why. And maybe random new stuff, maybe? Yeah, just put random new stuff, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of sucks what's happening or so. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of pretty shitty. I'm hoping that, like, you know, I'm hoping everything gets resolved over there in Japan because I want to, you know, I want Japan to be Japan. And, you know, if I do eventually move over to Japan in the far future or so, you know, I kind of want to be able to walk safely. I kind of want to be able to walk safely at nighttime sometimes, you know. Sometimes I like to take a nice walk or so at night. You know, if it becomes, you know, I guess like, you know, like a Muslim type of place or so, I'll probably be avoiding those areas overall, to be honest, because I'm like, I came to Japan for Japan, you know. So that's the reason why. So, but yeah, overall, you know, that's my personal opinion. I'm like, it's kind of crazy what's happening over there, to be frankly honest. And well, hopefully they win the fight at least, and hopefully nothing happens there. And I'm rooting for Japan. And yeah, that's kind of like basically it, you know. For people who want to tax them. But yeah, that's kind of like it though. So well, we'll see what happens. I'll keep tabs on this problem that's been happening or so. So, but yeah. In other words, people who follow the Surah. I don't even know any of this stuff, to be honest. This is all brand new to me, to be frankly honest. Have you heard what's going on in Ireland? I did hear somewhat of what's happening in Ireland, though. That's what we call racketeering. Ah, I see. I've heard of that word before, but I never knew how it was used or anything like that. So, but yeah. Surah is part of the Islamic text. Oh, I see. As I've said, Islam is incompatible with Japan. It makes sense. I know that Hispanic and Asians are kind of like somewhat cut from the same cloth and everything, because there's a lot of things that are somewhat similarity. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and hopefully Japan stays Japan, you know. And yeah, keep fighting the good fight at the end of the day. Keep Japan how it is, and hopefully hopefully one day when I move over there, I can, you know, be able to explore around calmly without having any issues walking around. So, peace.